Ladies and gentlemen, Silicon Steve Valley, I hope you guys had a fantastic Labor Day weekend. And what a weekend it was. I'm going to keep on popping on here and doing videos, talking about all the different things happening in AEW, All Elite Wrestling. A lot of things going on, some negative, a lot of positive. And I already spoke briefly about, obviously, some of the negative, Jim Ross particularly, and some of the commentary, and some of the issues that AEW had. So the other thing I wanted to bring up, and I think this is very important, the negativity, and people are talking about the Matt Hardy bump, and they have been very critical that AEW continued that. And I saw a lot of WWE fans saying that, oh, well, AEW doesn't care about the wrestlers like WWE does. I mean, do we really want to go through the history of WWE and how much they cared about their wrestlers? Do we really want to go there? It's just funny, you know what I mean? They still don't have health insurance, so shut the fuck up. No, the reason WWE does all these protocols is the same reason the NFL does all these protocols. They are a billion-dollar industry. They are a multi-billion-dollar company. They care about getting sued, and they care about public opinion. That's what they care about. They don't care as much. Yes, do they want their wrestlers to get hurt? Of course not. Of course not. They didn't want the wrestlers to get hurt 40 years ago either. But now they're forced to do good things for these wrestlers who go through these problems, opposed to before, they did not. So please, WWE fans, spare me how much love that the WWE cares more about the wrestlers than they do the bottom dollar. This Matt Hardy thing is completely different. Someone compared Ivar, is that his name? The Viking guys. Sorry, I wasn't a big indie fan when they were the War Raiders. And now they're the Viking Raiders, or were they the Viking Machine, or whatever. Anyways, he got hurt, middle of the match, and they stopped the match. They didn't let him continue. This was different. That was a tag team match, first of all. Secondly, the match with Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy is a 27-year veteran, and he said he wanted to go back out there. He can go. And the stipulation of that match was if he had lost, which he would have, quote, in Workland, he would have lost, and he would have had to leave AEW. That would have broken a lot of momentum. Obviously, they could have brought him back with another storyline and what have you, but if he didn't continue that match because of a concussion, Sammy Guevara would have been the winner of that match, and then it really would have broken. And it was a big moment for Matt Hardy. Don't forget, this is Matt Hardy's first singles feud, first singles program he has had since coming to AEW. And the jury's still out if Matt Hardy's going to be a major contributor to AEW right now. Let's be honest. Has Matt Hardy been one of the most entertaining things since coming back to AEW? I mean, he did great with the program with the Elite and the Inner Circle, no doubt. But has it been anything crazy? Now, all of a sudden, this feud has been mired with controversy. You look at... So, if Matt Hardy went out and didn't continue that match and didn't essentially continue the feud with Sammy Guevara, with already the negativity with that chair shot that Guevara did a couple weeks ago, throwing it and busting Hardy wide open, and I think gave him a concussion there, this has been a very controversial feud. It's been a good feud, but all the negative stuff with the chair and now this bump is taking away from two fantastic competitors. And I think if Matt Hardy felt like possibly at that time, after he took the bump and he took the back to the head, he's been in that position before. Matt Hardy knows what he can do with his body. And it's kind of hard if you're Tony Khan or you're anybody to tell Matt Hardy. The only person that could probably get away with saying Matt Hardy, you shouldn't do it, is Chris Jericho. He's the only man that's been up and down the road as much as Hardy. He's the only one who has as much experience in the business as Hardy. So I think it's very, very presumptuous that all of these dudes in their teens, 20s, and 30s say, "Oh, I would never let him wrestle and finish that match. Oh, how dare they? Tisk, tisk, tisk." You know, come on now. That's ridiculous. A 26, 27-year-old Hall of Fame veteran like Matt Hardy says, Tony Khan, fuck you. I'm going back on and finishing my match to make my career continue to succeed and help get this kid Sammy Guevara over as well and help this company. And that you're going to tell me, you're going to look Matt Hardy dead in the eye and say, fuck you, you're not going back on. I don't care how good you say you are. No, you wouldn't. Shut your mouths. Shut your judgmental little internet wrestling community mouths. You would have told Matt Hardy, no problem. It's ridiculous. You and your judgment. Piss off. All right? 26, 27-year-old veteran Matt Hardy tells Tony Khan, who's been in the business for not even 2 years, you're going to tell Tony Khan, I don't care how strong he is. You have to have balls, a huge size of balls. If you're Tony Khan and say, no, Matt Hardy, you're not doing this. It would have been the brave move, and it would have been the right move. But it would not have been a move Vince McMahon does before that company went public. Vince McMahon was like, go ahead, do it. Great. Make no mistake, Vince McMahon has been brilliant, and he's amazing, and he's done more for professional wrestlers than anyone ever has. So I'm not shitting on Vince McMahon, but to sit there and say, well, WWE cares more about their wrestlers, they don't have health insurance. They couldn't have guaranteed contracts before WCW gave that money to Hall and Nash. So don't tell me Vince McMahon cares more about his wrestlers than he does about making money. He does not. And he's proven it time and time again throughout his career. Vince McMahon, the person, does. I have no doubt about that. Vince McMahon's not this evil, horrible human being. But Vince McMahon, the businessman, he compartmentalizes them. He said he does. He makes business decisions, cold, calculated, and emotionless business decisions. That's what he does. And this love and all this protocol is just because he doesn't want to get sued. Period. So let's not go crazy about this Matt Hardy bump. The extenuating circumstances, not many people would have had the balls to tell Matt Hardy, fuck you, you're not going out there. So that's something. Matt Hardy's in a lot more trouble with his wife anyway. So anyway, that's my take. Internet wrestling community, chill out. That being said, though, AEW guys like Taz and Jim Ross. I mean, Jim Ross, when you go on a podcast a couple weeks ago and you say, oh, our shit's better than NXT. Well, then you can't go out there and bomb the pay-per-view, Jim. You can't. You bombed. It was horrible. And I don't know if you had drinks or you were tired from the football game, but you were an abortion. Pardon the expression. And Taz, we don't run a sloppy shop. Well, when you have these incidents, then now all the WWE fans that for some reason are tribal are going to say, look, Taz, I guess your shop is a little sloppy. So maybe AEW needs to shut their mouths a little bit in terms of making fun of certain things about WWE. WWE gets shit on all the time for all the things that they do, but at the end of the day, they're all trying, and they're trying to do this through a pandemic too. So let's shove a little bit more love and stop being such judgmental pricks on the internet. Okay? Here endeth the lesson. Steve Alley out.